Is ready to go. It has been a big build-up. Let's see what they go with. There is the first ban, Blitzcrank. Both teams have had it banned against them 3 times, I believe, so no surprise that that was banned out there. Jace also been a very strong favorite in this tournament. Of course, they don't want Stanley having that, but we know damn well Stanley has that backup of Nidalee. Those spears so strong. Skarner being banned out, that's Cloud Templars, one of his favorite champions.
And the Nidalee, if they pick it, it wouldn't be early because they very much like to do that in a counter pick. The Jace ban, no surprise. Stanley was actually the first player to pick Jace competitively, so he's feared. Everyone knows that. They're not letting Toys have Orianna. Collective size from everyone. I'm not expecting to see that anytime soon with how dominating he's been with it and how much control that adds. And back and forth, these are all just directed bans at the players. Jax is for Shy. Back and forth, these guys obviously done their homework.
We only got to see Jax, I think, 1 time in the tournament from Azubu Frost. That was against COG, I believe, COG NA.
And we actually had a clip of him getting a double kill at a sliver of health. And they're just like, you know what?
That's why we're not going to let him have him. Yeah, indeed. Final pick to ban, taking a little while from Azubu Frost because there's a few things been left open. They've gone with Kog'Maw. That is a surprise ban, and definitely the fans are very much knowledgeable. And Anivia may well get locked in here. We don't know. You never know with these players, you see. We don't like to bite things early, but I don't think we've seen Toys Anivia throughout this tournament.
He has played Anivia, actually. He was in the second game against Najin Sora, and he went 6-0-5 with it. That was a brilliant ploy by them because they knew that Rapid Star wanted it. CLG EU had to ban that out earlier. They're going to lock in the Sona, I'm pretty sure, because they love Sona. It's the #1 support for them, and it also potentially blocks TPA from a safe Nunu pick because the high poke from them is, and the Sona Ezreal, scouted by many as being the best 2-man high poke lane you can have in the game. What's TPA going to do to counter that?
And the question is, that means Azubu Frost surely might use this in the top lane. We saw it against CLG. They just shoved that top lane down with that combo. Maokai, it has been one of the strongest junglers probably throughout the tournament. Definitely sets up those ganks early. Matches the aggressive play that Taipei Assassins have.
Maokai is going to be a contested pick amongst both these guys. The only junglers that Lowballs has actually won on have been Dr. Mundo and Maokai, so this is a very clear pick for him. Cloud Templar has had most success on Maokai and Skarner as well, so if they pick that away, that leaves it open for the other side. If they do end up going with the Maokai, I'd almost expect a Shen from Cloud Templar because he's been very much about control of the map, and if he can just sit in the jungle and come out with Shen, that fits right into their style, especially with high pressure lanes coming out from Sona Ezreal. They're taking their time with this one, though. You can tell they don't know if they got the strategy, and a Lulu pick coming out. Poke versus Poke, gonna go in versus Sona there.
This could be a very aggressive team pick. The next 2 picks, and like you mentioned, the deliberately slowness of it. He saw a mistake there, talking across. Obviously, the shot call that we said, I guess they're having a global discussion. Vladimir, we saw Vladimir in the middle for Azubu Frost against CLG. Froggen said he was well aware of that fact, expecting it against Morgana. Definitely can farm strongly against Morgana and against Anivia. And
Rapid Star really likes Vladimir. He knows the ins and outs of the TPA matchup. And here could be a Karthus. Strangely enough, though, the 2 times, both of these teams have picked a Karthus Shen comp twice, and that was the only game they lost in the tournament. But they like the Karthus versus Anivia matchup. And a Namumu coming in from Cloud Templar. First one we've seen all tournament.
First one all tournament. I asked Snoopy whether he was going to do it, especially after his champion spotlight, whether he was going to do a Namumu. But that is an insta-lock-in Vayne there. They really wanted that combo. Of course, that was a combo we saw come strong against the Kog'Maws. And, you know, we didn't see Vayne until the semi-finals, and suddenly, bam, selected in 2 matches and was absolutely superb.
And they want to lane swap with this. There's no way they're laning Lulu Vayne up against Sona Ezreal. Now this last pick is going to be a very skilled 1v2 laner. The trouble is they don't know what Azubu Frost last pick is, and there's an Olaf, perfect for the 1v2 lane.
So Stanley going to be on Olaf. He's going to be against the Ezreal Sona poke. What will be the final pick? Will it be Singed? Will it be Shen?
They've done Singed in 1v2 lanes before, and Shy's had much success on it. It would be tricky, though, because slows and even the wall could shut down him if he's trying to run away, and you can spam the slows down with Lulu and Maokai. Singed would be a very, very dangerous pick here. I'd expect him to go with something else, but what does Shy have up his sleeve here because he's been so dominating with that Singed, and they do have this last pick potential to counter everything. And there's the Aurelia. Here are the teams.
Aurelia being locked in. Talk about the teams.
Right now we have the Amumu is going to be so huge for Azubu Frost. They're going to have to get to a point where they can teamfight, and when they have that, the Amumu ult on top of the Crescendo, on top of the Ezreal ult could just clean the floor. TPA has very much Maokai trying to get around early, and the Vayne fast push with 2v1 lanes is going to be what they try to create. Toys is going to try to shut them out in team fights, and back and forth, these guys actually have very good late games together. But based on their styles, it's going to be about fast pushing towers and who can better prepare for that.
So ladies and gentlemen, the teams are locked in. The OGN Summer Champions, Azubu Frost. If you would like them to take this game, take this trophy, take the Summoners Cup, give them a cheer.
Really good support for them. If you guys want to see Taipei Assassins take the first game here and get one step closer to the Summoners Cup, let's hear it for TPA.
What a tremendous trophy that is. TPA seems to be the champ, but it's pretty even, I think, across the board. Azubu Frost definitely have a lot of support, certainly in Korea, obviously in prime time now for the Korean audiences, as well as Taipei. And, well, honestly, Jat, I mean, coming into this, the team comps, who would you favor as we get into the game?
I've talked to a lot of pros, and it's odd for them as we get into the game. Normally, they're very one-sided in what they say. They're very definitive about how they predict. And everyone says 3-2. I don't know who's going to win. These teams are very even. Now that they come out of the base, we're finally here into the World Finals.
Well, I know everyone here would certainly love to see a 3-2. Everyone at home would love to try and stay up. And I favor with all those Europeans that have stayed up through the night. You have my sympathies, ladies and gentlemen, because Taipei Assassins versus Azubu Frost is about to get underway, and the water immediately goes in their faces. If you've just joined us, if you've just tuned in, the Taipei Assassins as a blue team as game one gets underway. Azubu Frost as the red team. We are just 50 seconds into it. We are going to see a level 1 invade.
And this is brute force because they're going right through a ward that they just saw. They're just trying to get a ward on the raids, and the big weakness for Mumu is early game counter jungling. Funnily enough, the early game weakness of Maokai is also that, so it was a pretty good pick against it. They're both poking around, trying to invade the other team's buffs. There's a lot of wards. You can see a lot of supports have just went to burning all their wards on early level 1 buffs. Looks like Maokai is starting at blue and Amumu starting at blue as well, so both of these junglers looking to start very strongly, and neither team actually going for an aggressive invade. They know how much is on the line, and it does seem like they have conservative plays coming out early.
Of course, that $1 million would certainly make you think twice about any crazy plays you were going to throw out. Certainly in the first game, definitely going to be a cautious match for the first match. Wouldn't expect anyone to go overly aggressive. They've got nothing to lose at the moment, of course, but you know, they could come back from anything. Taipei Assassins taking the golems. You can see also setting up for the red. Meanwhile, the blue buff, is also being picked up by Azubu Frost. That is going to be the Nivelish. And that is going to be Cloud Templar picking up the blue buff, we would assume. Just going to see whether they use the smite here. It is something that Amumu always needs in the jungle to start.
And actually, there wasn't any lane swapping. They might have out-mind game each other because BB and Mistake have to lane up against the Sona Ezreal. That's going to be a very difficult lane for them. They're going to get poked down really hard in the bottom lane. Cloud Templar saving his smite so he can pick up the red buff very early. Both junglers getting seen by wards a bit, and that bottom lane, BB getting poked hard early.
Very low. The exhaust had to get used. They might be able to turn this one. Had to burn the flash there. They've tried to go for it. BB, Madlock trying to get aggressive. He puts the ignite down on Mistake. Mistake's going to get taken low. Wound's going to have one more Mystic shot. Can he make it? No! And that's going to force Taipei Assassins back early on. They're going to try and burn the health pots, so they've got to go back.
This is really going to hurt them. They're going to lose a wave on the turret, and that could set them behind very much. They can't go back to that lane and keep hurting because that is going to continue happening. Punishment going down around the map. Big harassment early, and that was the play for Azubu Frost. Big advantage there early bottom lane.
Okay, so looking like the lanes are going to be pretty standard. We're just going to keep our eye on where Cloud Templar is going to head. Take us through this top lane moment as Cloud Templar has a little peek actually. And let's just stay with it a moment. You can see if he can get the bandage toss on towards Stanley. He's going to show himself, and that's going to be the stun coming straight down. He's going to have plenty of time to land that bandage toss. It's going to be first blood. Stanley's going to go down. It is going to be Shy picking up first blood for Azubu Frost.
The crowd here is electric, and that was huge. They got the stun onto Olaf, and since he had Ghost instead of Flash, they chained it, and the red buff slowed him down enough so he couldn't escape that gank. Top lane and bottom lane now very strong early advantages, and Amumu's weakness sometimes is early game ganks aren't as strong, and that was big for them. Still, a bunch of harass going back and forth in the bottom lane.
Yeah, Wound taking a lot of damage in that bottom lane. Also taking a tower hit, getting a little too crazy with the aggression. Needs to be very careful. Once BB can manage to get in position, can try and poke him down. You can see Wound again taking a lot more poke, but with Mad Life there, the sustain is very high between these two. As it stands though, Azubu Frost definitely with that advantage. 700 gold, early stuff. And honestly, that assist from Amumu, it's exactly what he needed.
Yeah, and look, he got a Philosopher's Stone at 4 minutes and 22 seconds. That's going to be huge for his late game play. Huge, big early start. And you can see now Lowball's up in that top lane, camping, trying to get Stanley back in the game. What happens a lot of times is top lane will try to snowball. You can get in on that. Lowball's still camping up in the top, Aurelia coming back in the lane, and Cloud Templar isn't quite there to support. Shy's going to look to get aggressive here, and if he does, Lowball's will be coming right out for the gank.
Now, they've already pinged on Little Ball, so I think they realize he may be there. We're seeing Cloud Templar coming around the side. They've dived up towards Shy.
Too.
Here comes Amumu coming around the side. Shy is heading towards him. Have they got enough, though? I think Shy might go down before they get the chance to finish it off. There goes Shy. Stanley manages to get it down. Can they get another stun on towards Cloud Templar? Cloud Templar with the double buff. He doesn't want to go down. He twists the nuts. Little Ball makes it.
What a great turnaround by TPE there. The double buffs getting renewed onto Lowballs. Level 5 Maokai now at 5 minutes. That's the swap around they need, and great support after that early failure top.
The bottom lane is very aggressive though. Wound and Mad Life certainly pressing the pace here on BB, and BB having to get shielded up there. Really being pressed heavily on the turret. Matching up these lanes, you can see Wound taking some damage, but BB is definitely struggling. Obviously, we've seen him so far ahead in his lanes, normally in terms of CS, 26 to 33. How do you match that lane up?
The saving grace for them now is the fact that they're blue side, so they can continually go back and get double golems. Most likely, they're going to lose their tower fairly early if Azubu Frost decides to push it, but as it is, they're going to be basing very frequently and continually picking up those double golems to make up for the experience loss. They're sticking in there fairly well considering the level 1 loss, 28 minion kills to 39. They're down at Doran's Blade in items. You can see Wound picking up that second one, and it's just going to be a constant struggle for them to stay in the game. Luckily, they got that turnaround in the top lane, and that's going to be big.
Yeah, and there's wards across the board here. 4 members of both teams, 5 members of Taipei Assassins picking up wards there, showing they're really spreading the load, spreading the love. Toys versus Rapid Star. We haven't really had a chance to look at this one so far because the aggression has been in them top and bottom lanes. Take us through Anivia versus Kalthus.
It's mostly a farm off, and then it will come into aggression, mostly once Maokai starts ganking Karthus. I don't know if they can actually get onto Toys. He's been pretty much unkillable. He plays so passive in lane before he ends up getting aggressive, and you can actually see both teams preemptively did a lane swap. Taipei Assassins went up top to try to get some free farm, and Azubu Frost was right on top of it, both going up to top lane. They're not going to let Vayne get a 2v1 in free farm because they need to keep the pressure on.
We are seeing them try to match it up there, but that means Olaf did get in lane quite a bit earlier, and at the moment Stanley's starting to take a little bit of a lead in terms of CS. Of course, they've both got a killer piece and an assist. But as it is, we saw the jungler, Little Balls, just hanging around that mid lane, but Rapid Star was not showing himself any position. Cloud Templar just going back, building up that heart of gold. Heavy GP10 items being built up by these guys. It's something we've seen throughout the tournament.
And Lowball's actually getting an Oracle's Elixir already, so he's going to be looking for those early ganks and to continue from the success he saw top lane, giving the blue buff over to Toys right now, still having the blue buff from the earlier trade, and he's going to clean up this ward top, and once Azubu Frost has no wards, they won't be able to pressure Vayne and Lulu quite as hard, and it's going to help them a whole bunch having that map control.
As the cheer goes for the ward kill. Oh, thank you very much, guys, for bearing with us through that entire Saturday. It was a long, long day for all of us. And as it is, we are getting things going here. And Taipei Assassins 2-1 up. Toys taking a very early ward there and looking like a potential red invade here, Jack.
And really, they're just trying to catch Cloud Templar. Once they realize he's level 6, though, this invade becomes increasingly dangerous, and he's actually baiting. They know that Lowballs is around pushing the red, and he's going to try to catch him here while they collapse down with Sona and Ezreal. Lowballs has to run away.
He has to back off, like you say. Sona and Ezreal coming both down, and that is going to be Cloud Templar picking it up. But it's good to see Taipei Assassins going for those aggressive plays, something Azubu Frost has yet to do, obviously. Them trying to push that lane heavily, and now we're seeing Anivia picking up those wraiths. They're trying to help him farm out here, and then again he's going to assist Lil Balls in picking up the red buff of his own.
And really, I just want to look at the lanes a bit here because you can see Stanley against Shy. So much has been talked about this matchup. We saw Stanley completely dominate on Italy in the semifinals, and Shy completely destroy on Shen. And Shy actually has a bit of an early edge here. He's 11 up, and here comes a gank around the back. Low balls with Oracles, cleaned him out. Shy's in trouble.
The Ignite goes down on towards Shy here. Has he got enough to try and finish off Stanley before he finishes? Low balls gets in there, tries to bait him around, pulls him into the bush, and takes him down with the car. Assault about the Requiem. Well, no! It didn't finish him off! Stanley survives with nothing. The Ezreal ultimate didn't actually aim for him. There was a push on mistake up the top there as well.
The clutchest of plays by Olaf there. He popped his Ragnarok at the end there because it gives him armor and MR, and because of that he lived through the Requiem, so he burned the ultimate from Rapid Star, and they got the successful gank. Brilliant play.
But that top lane is being pushed very heavily here from Woong. You can see alongside him. They are really driving it home, and this could be a turning point. Azubu Frost with Sona Ezreal is such a strong lane. Often we've seen Woong getting so far ahead of his lane partner, and you can see already 71 to 59, effectively 60 any second as soon as he returns to lane. Definitely building up that advantage, which we've seen throughout this tournament for Woong.
And immediately, since they realize that they're falling a bit behind in kills, they turn on the fast push. They're trying to get this tower down, and they're trying to get the global gold back into their hands to pull them back. That'll give them more than 700 gold, killing that tower as a team, and they really need to make sure they keep BB down. Vayne's actually made kind of 2 appearances in this tournament, both of them being victories. Another ward kill by Lil Balls. That Oracles is coming in handy.
It is definitely coming in handy. So Lil Balls shows himself up the top there, puts down a sapling, I think, in the Tribush. I think it was a ward, and that's going to be Cloud Templar walking directly into it. That's going to give them a warning, and they'll back away. But that bottom lane, despite the fact it's 2-1 as the sapling there disrupts the pullback. Oh, Toy's actually trying to get aggressive on Rapid Star here. Has he got enough to finish him off? He might. The Ignite goes in. The basic shot. Yes, he does. Toy takes him down and continues his unstoppable record in that mid lane.
Toy's just bullying out Rapid Star, and you look at that, he's got a 20 minion kill lead on him as well, so really, there haven't been jungle ganks to give him that edge. That's all Toys in that lane, and that's 4 kills to 1 now for TPA after that first blood, taking the next 4, and they are taking control of this game. You can see Low Balls still clearing out the wards, and Azubu Frost can't keep pace with the pressure right now. Shy scouting up towards Dragon because he's just trying to get vision, and Low Balls is going to catch him out in the river here if Olaf can support. No, they're just going to end up disengaging.
They're both going to back off. They see each other. They realize they were there. And as it is, though, that bottom lane Stanley being outfarmed quite heavily by Shaw. We can see they're turning on towards Mad Life here. Crescendo comes across, but the ultimate goes straight towards BB. He wants to take down Mad Life. One more shot, but Woong round the side of us will take BB down. No! Condemns him, tries to push him back, but Woong with a beautiful Mystic shot takes down. And can he go on towards Mistake here? He's going to get Arcane Shift available. He hasn't got the mana, though, and he's going to have to step off.
Cloud Templar with an Oracles as well, taking out this top ward. But the big play for that was actually for BB. They went aggressive onto a lane that's supposed to be destroying them. They're only down by about 13 minion kills. It's going to get a bit worse now that he's died. But that was still a pretty good play for BB and Mistake. They're going to lose this tower. That was going to happen anyway. Vayne doing a pretty good job keeping farm, because if they get him into teamfight late game phase, it's going to be huge. That tower kill, taking the gold pretty much even.
So 11:55 and the first tower goes down, along with another ward. By Little Balls, he's really farming up. Thinking that's Oracle pay, but this bottom lane, surely, will it become a concern for them here?
You actually only need to clear out 16 wards for the Oracles to pay for himself. He's getting close to that point, and it's really just created so much map pressure for them. The Dragon play is going to be happening shortly. Both junglers trying to clear out the area. Cloud Templar has his Amumu ult up. They have Requiem back. Crescendo's a little bit slower. If they fought now, it would be in the advantage of TPA, because they have all of their cooldowns except for Mistakes, and these fans continue to applaud the wards.
Shy getting jumped on. Shy's getting dominated down the bottom here. They should be able to take him down. Yes, they do. BB gets him. That's, of course, going to turn the fight for the Dragon. Cloud Templars having to back away here. Mistake, would you believe, bullying him in. Toys could get a wall across here. They're going to try and wall him. They do. They managed to back him up. Have they got enough to slow him down? There's going to be the stun up towards Cloud Templar, but they're just forcing them away. True Shot Barrage does manage to hit a lot of Taipei Assassins. They're going to maybe try and go for the Dragon here. Nope, they are going to back away.
They got harassed down pretty heavily. Most of that with True Shot Barrage from Woong. It didn't have any damage fall off, getting them all pretty straight on. TPA actually backing off. The kill onto Shy, though, is pretty big. They're picking on him a little bit. He's out minion killing Stanley and trying to apply pressure, but because the Oracles clears and because he isn't safe with vision, they're continually ganking him and getting him down. And Cloud Templar getting seen by all those wards, not clearing out wards as fast as Little Balls. And this game, 6-2, TPA coming out with a lot of aggression. They need to start getting turrets, however.
If you guys can keep that ward cheering up throughout these 5 matches, I'll be very impressed. But the first game, you've got to give it to Taipei Assassins. They're certainly trying it. It is 6-2. Taipei Assassins currently up in kills, but you can see the goal is still very close. That one tower, of course, turning it for Azubu Frost there, spotting it, and Little Balls has been caught high here. Cloud Templar pops his ultimate. You can see Ezreal coming in. That's going to be the counter's ultimate. Is it enough to save Little Balls? No! He goes down. The Oracle burns. Can they catch on towards Mistake? They're going to try and turn this
Stanley.
one. Olaf Stanley coming down the side there. There comes the axe. He's going to go on Cloud Templar. He does. He takes both Oracles now burned. Can they turn it on to Wound? Just one more axe. Will he get the slowdown? Stanley's going to be able to tank the turret up. They are going to go for this one. They take him down. Have they got enough to take Mad Light? Yes, they do! And BB picks it up. Very nice turnaround. And Taipei Assassins from a real strong position for Azubu Frost counter very nicely.
They realized that Shy was top on Irelia and that they had the man advantage. Now they get this free dragon with 4 members, and they just pushed into Azubu Frost for that aggression. They burned the Amumu Wall on a single target, which gave TPA a big advantage in that team fight. Shy trying to counter with a push bottom, but Lil Balls is all over that because he's right there to clear the wave, not allowing those turret kills to come through.
Well, there is a big difference in kills, of course, at the moment between support and assist between Stanley and Shy. And Shy, we've seen it so many times. You know, if he falls behind, he's just going to carry on farming. He's got a 45 CS advantage currently over Stanley. That's pretty big. But the 2-1-5 for Stanley has given him that gold advantage. And that mid lane, of course, Toys versus Rapid Start. Toys seemingly winning it out currently on Anivia.
And Shy, despite his incredible performances on Singed, has been a little bit up and down in this tournament. This does seem to be a down game. He hasn't tuned back his aggression. He's getting the minions, but he's just letting Vayne and the rest of TPA get very farmed. We look at the gold. This is the big difference here. Woong versus BB. 4,900 for BB, 4,200 for Woong. And considering that was a Vayne versus Ezreal matchup, the early farm going to Vayne means very scary things for them. Stanley dodging the bandage toss in the top lane, and he's just going to walk away. He's toying with Azubu Frost right now.
Absolutely loving him. We saw it with his Nidalee against Moscow 5, and Darian, he's going to have nightmares against that Nidalee up against him in that lane. But Stanley quite happy, despite the fact he has got no ward coverage, to continue holding that position. Quite confident that Cloud Templar has backed off. Little Balls was there to help out, but BB, like you mentioned, the fact that he fell behind, he's got those 4 kills. He's got that gold advantage now, and despite all the pushing, has really worked in favor of Taipei Assassins.
And you can see this lane dynamic has completely changed, especially now with BB having the red buff. They're bullying back on to Woong and Mad Life, and actually should be able to push onto this turret and just get him continually farming. He's only down 8